Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sage. So, a friend of mine had an awesome idea for an app, and I'm super psyched about it. So, I thought we could start building it together. What we're going to build in today is Cursor. I've been using Cursor. Now I can't even remember why. I think maybe they use Gemini 2.5 and Windsurf does. I can't even remember. There was a reason. I was using Windsurf and now I'm using Cursor and I can't remember why. But they're so close to being the same. It's the user interface of Windsurf maybe is a touch better than Cursor, but at any rate, I can't remember why I'm using Cursor right now, but I'm using Cursor and I like Cursor, and that's what we're doing. So what we're going to do here is we're going to open a project, okay? And just so you know, I have, I'm paying whatever it is, $15 a month or something. So I put all of my apps in this. I use an external drive, and I'm going to. I created a subfolder called scripts. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call this image creator. Okay. We're going to make an image creator. Okay. So now this folder is blank and poof. Now, here it is. Okay. So, let me move my face over here. Okay. So what you need to know is that these are just built on that platform everybody uses. What is that? Man, aren't you glad you're watching videos of me? Anyways, it doesn't matter. This is just a regular platform everybody uses, and they're just adding their own stuff and making billions of dollars on it. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. What is it called? MS Script? Doesn't matter. Just open up Cursor, okay? So what I want you to see here is over here in the new chat window. Now, if you ever close this and you're like, I'm so sad, don't be sad. Just you click this little button up here. See this? See this? Then over here, you can get rid of the sidebar there, and then you can get rid of other bars there, okay? But if you lose your AI bar, which I've done, you just click this little AI bar button, and then it comes back, okay? Now, before I go any further, I want you to see this. There's agent mode, ask mode, and manual mode. Manual decides what gets added to context node tools. I don't know. Never ever have used manual. I don't know. I think it defaults on agent mode, and agent mode 9 times out of 10 is what you're going to want. You're going to want agent mode because it does all the work. Unless you like doing work, you're going to want agent mode. But right now, we're going to do ask mode because we're going to ask it some questions because I want to know some things. Now here, I think it defaults actually at auto. And you know what? I might just start on auto. But 9 times out of 10, I'm using Gemini 2.5 Pro because right now it is the bomb. It is the bomb, okay? But I think I'm going to use auto right now because I just want to brainstorm, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause so you don't have to watch me type. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to try and make these videos mildly concise and to the point. So I'm going to write down what I'm going to do here and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so this is what I wrote. I said, I want to make an app that will eventually get uploaded online. It will likely have a user authentication tool so that multiple people can use it. I'm familiar with Firestore and Firebase. Those are for database and authentication. That's what I've been primarily using. If we need a backend host, I like Render. Render has been where I've been hosting like Python code and stuff like that. The app will be an image creation app. I'd like to use the API of multiple image creation tools. Does Midjourney have an API? I'd like to use them if possible, and I'd like to use OpenAI, and then I'd like to get your input as to what other AI tools we could use for this. I have some others in mind, but I'd like to see what it has to say about that. So to start, I'd like the app to create an image based on text input by the user. I'd like the user to be able to select a specific LLM to create the image, and it would be cool if we could store the images for the user, but I want to be mindful of server space. I don't want to build anything just yet. I'd just like to talk about this idea with you and how best to proceed. So at this point, I'm at the very beginning stages, and this is if you are able to explain yourself in the written word, I think that is very helpful these days, because you need to be clear with what you want. You don't have to start this detailed. If you consider that detailed, you could be more detailed, or you could just be like, I want to make an app that makes pictures. You could literally do that. But this is what I'm doing, and we're going to press this button. We're going to see what it says. Okay. So, again, this is how fast it generates. It sounds like an exciting project. Let me help you think through the architecture and technical considerations. Let's explore your current workspace to understand it. There's 0 items. Great. We're starting with a clean slate. Everything is great with AI. Everything. Doesn't matter. Let me address your questions, provide some strategic guidance. Midjourney API. Unfortunately, Midjourney doesn't have a public API. Boo. They've been quite protective of their technology and have released it. However, there are some alternatives. Discord bot integration. Some developers created Discord bots. Interesting, that interface with Midjourney, but this is unofficial against terms. Oh, well, we're not going to do that. I'm not fighting Midjourney. Third-party service company offer blah, 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 blah. Recommend. So we're not using Midjourney. Midjourney is like the one I go to often, but I guess we're not using that in this app. Boo. Recommended AI image APIs. Here are the best options. So the OpenAI DALL 3, your choice, excellent quality, good API. Stability AI. This is the one I was hoping for. Stable Diffusion, open source, multi-models, good pricing, API available through the platform. Anthropic Claude. If they add image generation. Well, did they or did they not? Image, Google Imagen. Oh, yeah. Leonardo AI. Okay. Architecture front end. React. Yeah. So React is typically what I build a front end in if it's going to be web-based. If I'm building something just down and dirty for myself, I just really build it in Python. Modern UI framework. Yeah. Tailwind. Blah, blah, blah. Good. Backend database. Firebase, Firestore. Good. Image storage strategy. Be mindful of service-based storage generated on Firebase storage, not Firestore. That's right. Okay. Right on. Sorry. Implement image compression before storage. Ooh, that's a good idea. Set up life cycle policies to delete old images. That's a good idea. Consider CDN integration for faster delivery. Also good. Implement user quotas based on subscription tier. See, it knows where I'm going. Subscription. That's how you get the money. Key features to consider. User authentication. Yes. Image history. Firestore. Prompt templates. Ooh, save common prompts. Good idea, AI. Style presets, different image, download and share using a good. Technical API, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Would you like me to dive deeper? Set up the initial project structure. Okay, good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from ask to agent. And I'm going to say, let's set up the initial project structure, okay? And this is where the magic happens, okay, ladies and gentlemen? This thing goes out and you're going to see over here on the left, this is my folder. Okay, so here it's telling you, well, excellent. Let's create the project. I've created the next, I'll use create next app to generate a next. So you don't even have to start your own terminal. It's going to run it here. So it's going to do this. You just do what it says. And then would I like to use TurboPack for next dev? I don't know, but it's going to, so I think it's going to, would I like to use TurboPack? So I don't know. So I'm going to say, do I want to use TurboPack? Should we use TurboPack? I don't know what TurboPack is. I've never heard of it. Okay, planning next moves. I'm currently weighing the merit. So again, I'm using Gemini 2.5 because it tells you, it shows you its thought process. That's great questions. New high performance bundler. Oh, okay, fine, great. Pro speed, optimize, cons, still in beta. Yes, let's use it. Okay, good. I will now rerun the setup. I will be sure to enable TurboPack. Good job, AI. Do that, will you? Would you like to? Yes. Now, I will say that, yes. Say yes. Okay. So here's the thing. This might not actually work. I've found that it doesn't let me actually oftentimes integrate like this in this tool here. So I think what we're going to have to do is I think we're going to have to run this in the terminal window, which is no big deal. Up above, can you see that? Here, hold on. Can you move? Why can't that move? Oh, you can't see it. Darn it. Hold on. I want to show you. Can you see that? Can you see that window up there? Yeah. Okay, it's right here, terminal. You go to terminal, and you do a new terminal, okay? All right. So, now, what we're going to do here is, this window looks kind of wonky because I have it in magnified. So what I'm going to do here is I copied this over here, and I'm going to paste it here, okay? And I'm going to run it there. Command not found. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let's look at, okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shrink up this a little bit, all right? So we've already run into our first problem, okay? So what I've tried to do here is I'm trying to do this turbo pack. It's asking me if I want to use turbo pack, and it's trying to run it over here, but I found that it doesn't allow me to interact with yes or no or any kind of engagement over here. So then I have to run it in terminal. So there we go. Now would you like to use turbo pack? See there? Do you see that? Let me move my face. Move my face. Move my face, I said. Move it. Okay. Would you like to use turbo pack? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. There we go. Okay. So now look what it's doing. I'm just going to get rid of me. You don't need me. I'm there. Good. So now what you can see here is it is running all of this stuff. It is setting up the entire thing. Now this is what happens with React normally, but that right now we've just installed a ton of React modules and all of that sort of thing. Okay. So I'm going to say, now I'm going to say, I have run that npx command in another terminal window, and it installed everything. Okay? Like that. Okay? So, now. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. That saves us a step. Now that the basic Next.js is set up, let's take a look at the generated file structure. So now you can see here listed 13 items in its current directory. So it is now going through here and it's looking at everything in this directory. Excellent. Everything looks correct. We have a standard Next.js, a project with an src directory. Now that the foundation's laid, what would you like to tackle next? Based on our initial discussion, set up Firebase. We can create a Firebase project and add necessary configuration, design the UI. We can start by creating some basic UI components for the image generation, such as the next input module, create a placeholder. I don't know. I can go with any of these. I'll say, I'll go with your suggestion. Okay? So all of those seem fine with me. So let's just see what happens here. I'm leaning towards Firebase first. Okay, fine. All right. Great choice. I recommend, it's a great choice. Basically, it talked to itself and is like, you know what's a great choice? Doing what I said. Okay, I recommend we start by designing. Okay, so now look what it's doing here. It's creating pages, okay? So it's saying, right. Okay. So I recommend we start by designing the user interface. Oh, I thought we were going to do Firebase. Whatever. It's often best to build visual components first as it gives us a clear idea what the data. Okay, let's begin by clearing out the default boilerplate code. That's what's happening right now, okay? From the main page and its corresponding style sheet that gives us a fresh canvas. First, I'll examine the contents of the main file page. Okay, it's a standard Next.js starter page. Now I'll check the global CSS. So it's just running through all of these. All of these files are being created. Okay, perfect. I'll start by removing the boilerplate, blah, blah, blah. I'll simplify the global CSS file, keep the Tailwind imports, but removing the custom theme. Good. Now our project cleaned up. Now I'll add the core UI elements as discussed. Text area for the user to enter their image prompt, a drop down to choose the A model, generate button placeholder area, blah, blah, blah. Now we have a solid visual foundation. You're literally creating stuff this fast, okay? Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. That's all I can say. The next logic step is make you interactive. We need to manage the state. I use React. Here's the plan. Add use client, import the user state hook from React, create a state variables, wire up the state, blah, blah, blah. Sure. It goes so fast, I usually can't even read everything that it is telling me that it's doing. It seems like reapplying the edit didn't work, okay? So it's literally trying this stuff and then finding out it didn't work. Let me remove the unnecessary import. Perfect. Now the component is correctly set up as client component. I'll add the state management. I'll create the general handles. Now that we have our state. Do you need to know any of this? No, you do not. You do not. I can't say it enough. Joe Biden was right. All coal miners should become coders because everybody can do this. Everybody. Fantastic. Our UI is now fully interactive from a state management perspective. We have a functional front-end shell. The next step is create an API route to our Next.js. This approach allows, I'm just skimming what it's telling me. It's telling me all the stuff, which is nice, but it literally goes so fast, I can't even read it all. Next, we have a mock API endpoint. Okay, good. We'll now post and handle and blah, blah. Excellent. We now connected to our mock backend API. At this point, you should be able to run the app. Type a prompt, click generate, and after a short delay, see a placeholder image appear. This completes the basic application loop. Okay, people? Do you understand what just happened here? It has made a front end. Okay, set up a structure, and the next step is replace. Okay, so now, all right. Let's see. So here, I'm going to click this accept all because it's just going to update all these. What I'm going to say, next step, set up Firebase, integrate a real image. So it's 100% confident everything's fine. I am not as confident, okay? So what I'm going to say is I would like to test this user interface first in my browser locally. How do I do that? Okay, so there we go. Okay. So planning next moves, I've determined, okay, of course, to run the application, you need to start the Next.js. The command for this is npm run dev. This starts a server typically at port 3000. I'll execute a command for you now. Once it's running, you can open your browser, okay? So I'm going to click this button here. It's going to run that npm run dev, okay? It's now running. Navigate to this, okay? And you can see here, it's creating it right here. It's moved it into this, the main. This is where it runs its terminal. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do this localhost 3000. We're going to follow that link. Okay. And here we have our image generator. Okay. And let's see here. Make a pretty picture. Okay. Okay. And then it's showing you like the different image creation tools, and you click generate. Now this shouldn't work. I don't think this is going to work, but I think it's going to give me I don't think it's generating that. I think that's just a static image. Let me make sure. Make a picture of a dog. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Oh my God. That's not a dog. I don't think we've set up any APIs, okay? So don't worry. okay? The point is this thing functions. Can you understand how anybody can do this? How anybody can make an app? I did not do any secret sauce. I did not do anything secret at all. Okay, so now it's now running. You can let me know what you think of the UI, and if you want to make any changes when you're ready, we can move on to either setting up Firebase or integrating a real image generation API. I think I would like to do a real image API. Let's set up a real image generation API. Okay? Why not? Let's just get right to the fun stuff. Okay, so here, excellent choice. It's always an excellent choice. Okay? It's how they're going to take over the world by telling us how amazing we are. All right, we're going to do OpenAI's DALL 3. First, we need to install the official OpenAI Node.js library. So here you can see it's just doing it. Just click run. Just do it. Just click it. Okay. All right. Okay. So here, we'll automatically load this file. Okay. Okay. All right, wait. Okay, I have to go back. It's installed. Next, you'll need to do the OpenAI API key. For security, we must not hard code this key. The standard practice is to use an environment variable. Here's what you create a file named .env.local in the root. Okay. Now, I think this is one of the times where you have to create your own file because it refuses to look at this. I don't know what it's going to do with this information, but these are our APIs that get charged. So I'm going to create this file. So what I'm going to do is I'm over here on the left-hand side. I'm going to right-click, click New File, and up here I'm going to type in, and the dots are important, .env.local. Okay, do you see that? That's very important. Okay. Now, can I apply this to the local? No, it will not. It refuses to go in there. It's like, your parents' bedroom. It's like, I will not go in there. No. Okay. So, and then it tells you how to do it. If I'm not going to tell you how to do it because it'll tell you how to do it. And if you don't know, ask it. But, so what we're going to do here is we're going to open up a folder, a file. Okay. We're going into my OpenAI platform. You need to set one of these up. You may have to enter a credit card. I'm going to make a new secret key. Okay. I think I'm going to just hide that for here because I want to use this key. I don't want to mess around. I'll show you here. Okay. So you'll come in here, name it. I'm going to call it image creator AI bot. Okay. You create projects. I have projects. Okay. Let's see. Sooner or later, it's going to show me this key. Okay. Create it. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to copy my key and I'm going to put it in that. Okay. Let me show you. I'm going to put it in here. Okay. So if I would say that one of the things that might confuse you is this process right here, creating this .env.local. But this is the process that you want to do to set up your APIs. And the API that I just got from OpenAI is going to go in here, okay? This is how you want to create this. And then furthermore, it's already created a git ignore. And yeah, the env file is in here, meaning when we upload this to GitHub, which we are definitely going to do eventually, I don't know in this video, but it's going to ignore this file. You do not want to upload your APIs to GitHub or any place. You want to keep these, and I'll show you how we're going to add them when we add them to probably render. They're used a different way. So at any rate, I'm going to hide this screen from you, and I'm going to put in my API key. Okay, and I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to close that file. Okay, good. All right, good. So now, here we are again. Okay, here we are. Where should my face go? Do you need my face? I don't know. I make my face a little tiny face. There we go. All right, so here you can get your API. Now we'll automatically load this file. Okay, so it's in there. Yeah, and it says here, because .env.local is listed in your gitignore file, your key will not actually be committed to version control. That's just what we talked about. See, it's doing all of this stuff ahead of time so you don't make these mistakes. Once you created that file with your key, I update the API route. Let me know when you're ready. So I'm going to just click this accept. I click this accept every once in a while just to make sure. So I will say, I have added my API key. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, I successfully integrated API. Excellent. I will now update our API route in this API. It's, you know, it's again, it's updating all of these files. Okay, it's in this route. All right, it's where it is right now, updating stuff. I'm going to replace the placeholder logic with a real call from DALL 3. The library will automatically detect your API from the .env local. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. It seems there's a small typing issue with the response. What? It could potentially be undefined. So we need to check for, add a check that will satisfy TypeScript. I'll correct that now. So it's like correcting. Perfect. That resolves the linter error. See there? You had a linter error. Don't worry. It's fixed. Our API is now fully configured. Okay. Give it a try. After you had a chance to test it, we can move on to the next major feature. Based on our original plan, setting up Firebase user authentication and storage would be the next step. Okay. Let's check it out. Let's see. I might have to restart this. Oh, great. Just freaking great. Okay, never mind. I don't think you saw that. Okay, let's see if it's loaded. Okay. I don't know if I'll have to restart it or not. I don't. We're going to try it. Make a dog. That's what I would say. Make a dog. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if it makes a dog. Make a dog. Make a dog. You can make a dog. Come on, dog. All right, I'm going to pause this because this is looking good. Poof, a dog and a soccer ball. Look at that dog. That's pretty cute. I like him. I like him a lot, okay? I think that's where I'm going to stop this video, okay? I'm going to keep making videos of this process, but this is enough, okay? Do you see how I'm here to tell you, when I was doing this before, vibe coding as they call it, which I like that name, vibe coding, the amount of errors I would run into and confusion and testing, I mean, right out of the gate, I have created a web app in React. Now it's local, it's not online yet, but it will be, I guarantee it. And I've made a picture of a dog in a web app. And I did nothing that anyone else couldn't do. There's nothing I did there. The hardest thing was adding that .env.local file. That first installation where we were trying to do that turbo thing, I had to put that in the terminal window. There are these little hiccups that are still prevalent. Those are going to go away probably. I mean, you're not going to have those hiccups certainly in 6 months, maybe in 2 months, maybe next week, who even knows. But we're now at a point where anybody can do what we just did. All right. So there you go. There's step 1 of making our image generator.